For the very first time in Diablo history, guys, we are getting an open world, and boy are we excited because Diablo 4 is shaping out to be something very similar to Elden Ring. And the reason I say that is because what they're planning on introducing into the open world and the liberty they're going to give you of being able to explore the beautiful world of Sanctuary. With that being said, let's talk about everything we know right now of the open world of Diablo 4 and what you could expect and why you should definitely be excited. The reason why we're super excited about this whole open world feature, guys, is because it's going to give us the possibility of play the game as the way we want to play the game. With that being said, guys, the best example I could give you is the Elden Ring concept. Basically, what they did right in Elden Ring was throw you into the world and gave you the free reign of you to go to any area and give you the option whether you wanted to complete the storyline or if you wanted to go explore the world before you complete the storyline, or maybe you wanted to do one story mission and then come back and complete the storyline, you were able to do that. That is the same thing Diablo's also doing. Diablo's giving you guys the free reign for being able to explore not only all the 5 distinct regions in any particular order, but you deciding where you want to go, when you want to go between any of the 5 distinct areas. This is set to make Sanctuary a breathing and living place to explore and plunder and dive yourself in exploring different dungeons, different regions, and all the secret stuff hidden in the world. And of course, bumping into some monstrosities that you're definitely going to want to make sure you're prepared for when you actually find them. With that being said, guys, let's talk about the 5 different regions you'll be able to explore, what they look like, and what you can expect. One of the very first areas we're definitely going to go ahead and encounter in Diablo 4 is Gosling. And now this is particular home to the Druids. Now this is a very foresty area, and the cool thing about this area, which is going to give us a nice dynamic when we're playing the game, is that the land is heavily forested and it also borders along the coastline. If that wasn't enough to give you that nice winter vibes, it's almost always raining in this lands, and that's what makes it really cool. Now, there are going to be interesting enemies that lurk around this area, and those are going to be werewolves that are going to be kind of hidden in the foliage. And of course, here, guys, we're going to be encountering a brand new monster family called the Drowned. Now, you're going to want to be careful when you go around the coastline, guys, because they are just basically waiting to drag their suspects and victims into the watery doom. So make sure you come prepared and ready to battle. The next area, guys, is Fractured Peaks. Now, this is going to be a totally different area from the other one because this is going to be snowy and secluded. There's going to be a sect of devoted priests that find refuge in these isolated high mountain ranges. They're going to be seeking enlightenment while remaining unaware of the horrors that dwell in the dark caves, which are found in a complex down below. So this is going to be a very interesting area to explore, and it seems like this area will have some very interesting dungeons. Just once again, guys, make sure you guys bring your A game and are ready to battle. Next up, guys, we have an area called the Dry Steeps. Now, this is a unforgiving area, guys, because this has some very harsh environments, and it is completely dry, very deserty, and it is the home only to the hardest and more desperate souls. So I am giving you guys a warning. If you decide to step into the Dry Steps, make sure you come prepared. Now, the denizens of this particular land, guys, or the Dry Steeps, will do anything to survive, resorting to anything from petty banditry to savage cannibalism. So yes, guys, you gotta be careful, man. You fall asleep or you get caught slipping, you could be getting eaten. See what I did there? Yes, guys, become ready and be prepared when you enter the Dry Steps. The next area that we have available to explore, guys, is called Hawazar. Now, Hawazar is a very interesting place because this place is actually ruled by witches and zealots who actually have become accustomed to the snake-infested swampland and now call it their home. They're scoring the murky depths of ancient artifacts that unaware will quickly find themselves in dire straits. Now, do keep in mind, guys, I believe that this particular area will have some really good, amazing loot. I've never been here, but just by reading the flavor text, guys, I know that this area is going to be heavily guarded and there's going to be some really good stuff and really good loot to find. The next area, guys, and the last area is Catchen. Now, this particular area, guys, it is extremely deserty, super shadowy, and super quiet. The reason is because there is a very exclusive group that has come to this particular area to raise a very big cult following. They have quietly plumbed and abandoned ruins, seeking power to aid the return of the ancient prime elves. Now, this particular area, guys, is going to be heavily fortified, a lot of cult following, But guys, I am telling you, I believe this area is going to be a very nice spot to find some really crazy dungeons because there are a lot of abandoned ruins. Even though these occultists have actually searched them, I still believe there's going to be some really interesting stuff to find here. Now that you know all the areas, now it's time to decide how you will approach every single area. And what that means is if you guys want to play this solo or you want to play with a friend. Remember, Diablo 4 is crossplay enabled, so you'll be able to pair up with anybody regardless of the system. But one of the cool things about Diablo 4 is that it's a very independent adventure. It will allow you to decide how you want to approach the game and also the campaign. You'll be able to play throughout the entire story at your own pace or alongside with a friend or someone you met over on our Discord server. The link is down below. The cool thing about this feature is that it will have progression syncing, which will let you sync up to the party leader, so there is no question about what's being done or what's actually next on the checklist. Now, one cool thing about this particular feature is that most of the world within the game is a social open experience. There's going to be small parts of each of the 5 regions we mentioned earlier, which are going to be campaign specific. Once you guys complete the campaign objective, these areas will then transform to be dynamic, open to other players. So don't be afraid whenever you complete the campaign and see other people. Don't be shy to say hello or just be like, yo, that's cool, I'm doing the same thing you are. That means that if you see other people just hanging around, make sure you guys are friendly. On top of that, you could organically stumble into a world event and fight one of the world bosses, or other players might be battling and you could actually dip your toes into one of the world bosses and maybe collect some nice loot. Now, if you are playing solo, you won't need to party up to enjoy any of these activities. You're able to join them solo or with a friend. And on top of that, you'll still have the choice to either keep playing the game or join into the fray and enter the combat. So the choices fall down to you whether you want to play it solo, you want to play with a friend, or you want to take part of these social experiences. Now, one of the most iconic things in Diablo, of course, are its dungeons, and dungeons are still a very predominant thing in Diablo 4. Now, dungeons will be part of a separate instance experience, which means you won't see people wandering around dungeons like you would in the open world or in the social area. These are going to be abandoned ruins that you're going to be able to partake by yourself, or you could decide to bring up to a party of 4 to tackle one of the toughest challenges within the game. As you may already know, dungeons have been in the hallmark of Diablo, and these are randomized experience, which their layout and event also fluctuates as you progress. So every time you do a dungeon, it might be just a little bit different than the first time you did it, whether it be in an interior or exterior landscape. Now, there are also introducing a brand new thing to dungeons called dungeon objectives. Now, this is going to help you guide your adventure to offer you greater rewards and increase the danger, but you will be getting better loot. As you complete the dungeon objective, the goal you have will continue to update, and the dungeon itself might respond by sending tougher enemies and challenges your way. Now, they said that each objective has been customized and designed to give the dungeon their own identity and character. And seeing how there are 100 of dungeons found in the game, that means that there are tons of different events, assuring you to have a unique experience almost every single time. Now, they say that they are also evolving endgame dungeons by building them around 3 core pillars called variety, strategic depth, and player agency. Now, they did mention one extra thing that they have added to the dungeons called keyed dungeons. The keyed dungeons, basically what they are is by finding a key out in the world of Sanctuary, you can upgrade an existing dungeon into a special endgame version with increased difficulty, greater rewards, and dungeon affixes. Between the natural randomization, knowing the strengths and affects you're going to face, and choosing your skills and equipment in advance, we're hitting all 3 of these core pillars to bring you a brand new and unique, ever-evolving endgame. I am extremely excited. Dungeons are definitely one of the core pillars of the game, and I'm extremely excited not only to dive into the dungeons, but also try these brand new mechanics. Now, we will have a separate video kind of going more into depth into dungeons, so make sure you guys keep it locked on this channel so you guys won't miss that video. Another really amazing open world feature that's coming to the game are called camps. Now, these are locations of importance. If you ever played Assassin's Creed and you know those areas that are heavily fortified by enemies that you have to go and overtake, this is something very similar. These are places that have been overrun by enemies, which once you guys go ahead and clear out all the enemies that are around them, they actually become friendly outposts with NPCs and a waypoint location. Now, what makes this even better, guys, is that each of these camp locations will have a backstory to each camp. Most of the storytelling is visually, and the quests don't directly send you to them. For example, one of the camps in one of the zones was a town that was afflicted by a curse that turned the villagers into piles of salt. Another one was a crypt that was actually hunted by a spirit that possessed the bodies of various undead people, jumping from one skeleton to another skeleton until you actually defeat them. Now this gives it a very nice, viable option of making the world change every single time, giving it a little bit more realism and allowing you to reclaim small pieces of sanctuary and bring hope back to the community while still getting rewarded because you will be finding new NPCs and maybe new stuff to actually purchase and equip in your items. Now I know one of the questions you might be asking, Laser, this sounds amazing, open world sounds dope, a lot of really cool activities, but how exactly am I going to get around the world when it comes to traversing this whole open world? Well, the cool thing is, guys, that there are mounts available in the game that you will be able to attain during your playthrough. Now, in addition to that, have you guys seen the collector edition mount? It looks so awesome, man. I really want to get my hands on this one because that mount looks really dope. Now, there are going to be different sets of mounts. You'll be able to have like a regular animal. Here's a picture of some of the mounts so you guys get an idea of what they look like. But there are going to be some really lavishing and really cool mounts, which you will either be able to obtain via a dungeon or a different area. Currently, right now, we don't know where you could obtain more mounts, but we do know that there is one particular mount that you will be able to get early in the game to allow you to complete your objectives more quickly without travelizing travel or combat. Now, itemization will be available for mounts as well, so make sure you guys keep open your new axis of progression. Now, cool thing about mounts is that mounts are going to be customizable. Now, this is really cool because you're actually able to attach a trophy to the saddle to signal to other players an obscure challenge in the zone that you already completed. So it's going to be like a trophy. Like if you kill the boss, you're probably going to be able to get either the head of the boss, the bones of the boss, or the shield or the weapon, and place it on your mount to show off to everybody and be like, yo, I killed that boss, now I'm showing it off. Now this makes it really cool because not only does it give you the option to being able to collect different mounts, but it lets you collect different trophies, and on top of that, it gives you the ability to customize them. So I'm extremely excited for mounts. Now, the next thing you'll be encountering in the open world, which we kind of discussed a little bit earlier, these are the treasure beasts in Diablo 4. Now, these treasure beasts, guys, there are a total of 3 of them, and we've actually been able to see 2 of them within the trailers. Now, these are going to be world bosses that are going to be available in the game at launch, and they are massive and huge. We've seen them actually being taken down by almost 12 players. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you pay attention to whenever one of these events happens to join up and help each other, because these are going to spew a whole lot of loot that you're definitely going to want to sink your hands into. Now, the treasure beasts will spawn from an electrical orange portal. Basically, if you've seen the Terminator movies, you kind of know exactly how the portal looks like. The game's camera will start panning out to show you exactly how large the boss is, and players representing all classes will charge at the treasure beast using all their best skills to be able to bring down this treasure beast to be able to claim these amazing rewards. Now, of course, the treasure beast will have special attacks. For example, the portal teleportation one, the loot crate swing, which is the one you guys see here in the video, and the exploding lava rocks. And these are just the ones he's able to do right now. He will also be spewing lava at you, so you're not going to want to be getting close, but he will also be able to spike club smash you and just cause a whole lot of damage. So make sure you guys keep out of line for these and make sure you kill them to get that amazing loot. Now, on top of that, there are also monsters found in the game, which we will have a separate video going all the monster families, so you guys can know exactly where to spec and what locations you'll be able to find all these bosses and enemies. Now, one more thing that's going to be part of the open world, and that is the PvP zones. Now, these particular zones, guys, are going to be scattered throughout the entire world of Sanctuary, and these are going to be called Field of Hatred. Now, these particular areas, guys, are going to be areas which are going to be PvP focused, where you're going to be fighting you and other players. Now, there is a very good reward when you actually venture into one of these fields, which if you win and defeat someone, you have a chance of getting a currency called Shards of Hatred. You'll be able to get these Shards of Hatred by doing all kinds of things in PvP areas, such as killing monsters, completing events, killing players, and opening chests. They do have to be purified, though, at an altar before you can actually use them. Though while you're actually purifying them and making a ritual, you will be marked as hostile, which will allow non-hostile players to attack you without earning the tag themselves. Simply put, guys, you are going to become the targeted player in the area once you try to cleanse these particular shards. Now, the advantage of actually cleansing a shard is that, first and foremost, if you die and you have the Shards of Hatred, you will automatically lose them. Now, if the shards of hatred are actually cleansed, which is technically what you're trying to do by performing the ritual without dying, is that these shards of hatred will no longer be able to be lost when you die. And you will be able to spend these particular items once they're cleansed on special vendors, which will give you customized weapons and mounts. And these are going to be very hard to get shards, but definitely one of those hard-earned currencies that are going to give you some really amazing rewards. So just as we spoke earlier about a very cool trophy to place on your mount, there might be a really cool trophy that you're going to be able to earn by spending some of these shards that you're going to definitely feel very proud of when you're riding a horse or you're riding your mount with this particular trophy around its neck. Now, with all this really cool and amazing stuff coming into Diablo 4 and the brand new open world concept, I am extremely excited and can't wait to actually get my hands on Diablo 4. Now remember, there is a beta that's going to be getting announced very soon, so I will make sure you guys pay close attention to that. Also remember, there is a way to get some really cool free beta access by, yes guys, you would have to get a tattoo, but if you do get tattoos, this might be a viable option you might want to consider. You only get, not only do you get access to the beta, but you also get access to the game for free. With that being said, guys, you're definitely going to want to check out this particular Diablo video where I cover everything you need to know about the monster families, who you need to prepare for, where to find them, and where to get all this cool loot. I hope you guys are enjoying our coverage. If you are doing me a huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel, turn on all your notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.